do you think I would do to your poo? I don't know. You need to think about that. Now, for most of us in this room, this animal showed up in Marco Polo's silk and spice trade route. This is where commerce comes in with the older students here. There are people that went from Europe all the way across Asia to the Orient and back, and they bought things over there, they brought it back, they jacked up the price and made an inventory from here. That's how this animal showed up to us. Now, the silky chicken has these blue skin, purple muscle tones, black bones, these weird feathers, and they have 5 toes. When I talk to some groups, I explain this as the Mongolian death chicken. Don't freak out. These animals here are very calm, easy-going animals. Now, in the Orient, this was used as a everyday bird. Think about this. This is where our culture, our history comes in. 2 Thursdays ago, you guys, almost everybody in this room ate turkey. Why? That is our culture. That is what we do. This animal was a meat bird, but Marco Polo brings it back to Europe, and they started off. In the Orient, it was just a meat bird. But in Europe, these animals started their second stage of helping out humanity. Dude, don't worry about it. It's not poo. If it's poo, it'd be funny. Now, what these animals are used for, in the Orient, they were used for a meat bird. But once they came back to Europe, they started their second stage of helping us out. Catch your bubbles. Silky chickens are actually extremely broody animals, meaning they like to sit on eggs. If Taylor Swift here sees a golf ball, she will sit on it every day, all day, trying to hatch out a golf ball. And because of this natural inclination, they help us out. New word, open your ears. Surrogacy. Say it, please.
Surrogacy.
Surrogacy is when you use another organism to raise and take care of your young. What they would do is they would take the eggs from another bird, give them to a silky chicken. She will sit on them and incubate them and hatch them out. And that's what they were originally used for as surrogates. But then we got electricity. And modern day times, we do not need to use them as incubators, but these animals help us out. Now, when we look at a silky chicken, we're looking at a very calm, docile bird that is brooding. What we can do, if you live in an area or a municipality and they ban you from raising your own food, they will ban people from raising chickens. If you have that happen, get silkies. These are classified as a show bird, not barn fowl. Remember, I married my attorney. Give me the rules, I'll find a way around it. The silky chicken is going to be a flightless bird. Chickens can fly, even though they may not fly very well. You have chickens living in your backyard, eating all the bugs, all the insects, all the seeds. In return, they poop out eggs that are actually more nutritious and taste better than a normal egg-laying chicken that you buy from commerce. Now, if you take a silky chicken, you cross it back to a normal egg-laying chicken, you'll get what is called a frizzle. And the feathers will still be all kinds of weird. Looks like your hair, and your hair, and your hair. These feathers look so weird, like tight little curls, and they'll help them out. Again, this will be a flightless bird. Silky chickens have these weird modified feathers. They can be found in black, white, caramel, or a mixture of anything in between. And they have 5 toes. Now, normal chickens or birds are going to have only 4 toes. 3 toes on the front, 1 toe in the back, 2 and 2. Silky chickens actually have 5 toes. You can see your extra little thumb in there. They don't do anything with that, but that is going to be a sign of the line breeding for us. You older students, this is a domesticated creature that we have been line bred for certain traits, and then we get other phenotypical stereotypes. They have to have 5 toes, blue skin, and they're only found in those 3 colors with a mixture of those in between. Nowadays, these animals are kept as pets or therapy creatures. And our teachers all need therapy. It makes you feel better to pet the fluffy little chicken, doesn't it? What we do is we always use the silky chicken. If I have to do a school that is for a special needs group, I take the silky chicken, the students can pet it, and it makes them calm and happy. So it started off as a meat bird. It was our first surrogate, and now is basically used as a pet for us. So we're going to go ahead and take the silky chicken. We're going to put Taylor up. We left her boyfriend Travis in Middle Tennessee. Because Travis has learned he can crow. And if I had Travis here with me, he'd be crowing the entire program. That loses the energy. Now, the next animal is going to be a different creature. The next animal is a creature that eats only other animals. Meat eater is good. Who can give me that better term? What do we call when you're a consumer and you eat only other animals? Go, honey. You got your hand up. What do we call it? Starts with letter C. Go.
Carnivore.
Very good. If I get out of carnivore, do you think you need to act properly? Yeah, because this one's actually hungry today. And so I want your bottoms down, mouths closed, ears open, save those questions. If you have your answers in mind, you can raise your hand. This one here, I want you all to meet Randy. Say hi, Randy. Now catch a bubble. Who in this room can identify Randy by raising their hand? What are we looking at here? What is this animal? What is it? It is a lizard. Does anybody know what type of lizard we are looking at?
Salamander.
Speak up, top row.
A salamander.
No, dude, this guy lives in the desert. There's not much moisture there. What did you think? Very good. Son, how old are you? You're 5. Dude, you just got shut up by 5. This dude right here, this is the Gila monster. This is one of 2 venomous lizards we have here in North America. Now, whenever I talk to you, I want you to use proper terminology. Older students, listen to this. There is no such thing as a poisonous snake in North America. Poison is when you eat something bad. Venom is when it's injected inside your body. There's no such thing as a poisonous snake. You can eat them. I have. That offended the vegan ones during one of my programs. I don't care. Now, everything in the wild has a job they're supposed to do. There's a term for this. New word, open your ears. Niche. Say it, please. Niche. The niche is what an animal or an organism will do in the wild. When we look at Randy here, you can see his eyes are close to the front part of his head, meaning he uses depth perception to find his food. You can see he has a large olfactory sense there, giving him a good sense of smell. While we've had Randy out, has he been sticking out his tongue? Yeah. Why does this animal stick out his tongue? What is he doing? Very good, honey. You didn't even want to chime in on that one, did you? You didn't want to be left out. Thank you, honey. You've been paying attention. Friends, we see with our eyes, we hear with our ears, we smell with our nose, we touch with our skin, we taste with our tongue. Again, the books are inaccurate. This animal is tasting air, taking that large forked tongue, flicking it through the air, pulls that scintillated particle tongue to the inside of the body. Once it's on the inside of the body, there's a hole on the roof of their mouth called the Jacobson organ. And the brain will then process all those scent particles, telling him, yep, I taste food right in front of me. It's not a sign of aggression. Books say they smell with their tongues. That's not true. He has a good sense of smell here. Now we're going to pick on the boys in the top row again with the Justin Bieber hair that they constantly have. What is the difference between a snake and a lizard? What do lizards have that snakes don't? Babies, hands down. I'm going to pick on you older ones. Come on, brother. What's the difference between a snake and a lizard?
One has feet.
Lizards have legs, snakes don't. The most common answer, and you're wrong. We have legless lizards that are found right here in Mississippi. It's actually an endangered species. The legless lizard, slender glass lizard. The difference between snakes and lizards come down to 2 things. One, when we look at Randy, we can get him to blink. Snakes do not have eyelids, lizards do. Second difference, right here. You can see that ear canal. This animal has ears. Snakes do not. So if you see a snake on the ground, you don't want to get close to it. You start screaming and hollering. Is that going to do any good? No, I can't hear you. You see a snake on the ground, you don't want to get close to it. Stomp your feet. The ground vibration will be felt by the belly scales. And this snake will just look up and go, oh, look, there's a human. Now, with this animal right here, this is a carnivore. He eats only other animals, but he's different from us. Take 2 fingers and touch the skin of your neck. Are we warm or cold? Warm. We're warm-blooded animals. Feel him. Is he warm or cold? He's cold. This is a cold-blooded animal. He's only going to feel as warm as the environment around us. Right now, he's about 65 degrees Fahrenheit. When he's at home in his enclosure, he can get up to be 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Listen, every time a cold-blooded animal raises their body temperature up 10 degrees, they increase digestion by fourfold. So if you're a cold-blooded animal and you ate 3 meals a day in the middle of winter, come summertime when you're running around outside, body temperature over 100 degrees, you'd have to eat 164 meals in one day. 1.75 million calories in a 24-hour period. That's what's important about this. Now, he has his eyes, his nose, his ears, and he has that taste. This guy here is going to be found in the desert Southwest, New Mexico, Arizona, Utah, parts of Texas. Still, when these animals are looking for food, in the desert, there's not a lot of trees. And so animals will nest on the ground, and that's what he'll do. He'll walk around using his senses, and he'll find a ground nesting animal. It could be something like a bird or a mouse, and he'll walk right up to it. And the parents protecting that nest will look at this brightly colored venomous creature and go, you know what, we can always make more babies. The parents will abandon the nest. He will go in. He will eat all the eggs, all the babies in that nest. He then converts all the calories from that food that he's eaten into fat, and he stores it in his tail. Squeeze it. Feels like a raw bratwurst, doesn't it? I know it's weird. This animal may only eat a week or two in the spring, and then he will survive the rest of the year on the fat deposits in his tail alone. Now, this animal's venom comes from his lower jaw. The venom glands are right there. Older students. Water has properties: adhesion, cohesion. Water likes to touch itself as well as touch other things. This animal finds a predator. He will walk up to it, bite into it. Using the capillary action of water, the venom will leach into that predator. Now, if I make a mistake and get myself bitten by a rabbit, am I going to die? No. Am I going to go to the hospital? No. We've already established the fact Mr. Bob's a little off. Because there's no point to it. This animal here has a coagulating venom. I was younger than these little ones, and I saw this very cool experiment. They took a 3-quart container of fresh horse blood. They dropped in 3 drops of venom. They waited 90 seconds. They then flipped the beaker over, and the blood slid out like a solid jello mold. You know the cranberry sauce that you schluck out the can at Thanksgiving? Now you're going to think about me and Ray. If I make a mistake and get myself bitten by him, and the venom leaches into my tissue, the blood will not recirculate. It will clot. The tissue will turn to chronic, meaning all black. It'll die. And eventually it'll fall off. The entire time that this is happening, I don't feel very good, but I learned the important life lesson of do not mess with brightly colored creatures that aren't afraid of you. Now, am I worried about Randy biting me? No. Because when Randy gets ready to bite, this is as fast as he moves. And if you can't get yourself out of the way of that, you deserve to get bitten by this animal. Now, the venom for these guys here makes them a beneficial beast. We've been able to take agents from their venom to come up with medication to treat diabetes. The coagulating properties of venom help balance people's blood sugars. So you can take a pill to balance your blood sugar, as well as battlefield dressings for soldiers. If you have a soldier bleeding in the battlefield and you cannot put a tourniquet on it, they now have a bandage that will clot blood, saving lives. But the texture of this animal feels like a brand new basketball, doesn't it? You don't get a new basketball here very often, do you? It looks fine. Okay. But this animal here, he can change his body temperature from below 40 over 100 degrees. They do not sweat. They don't want to lose that moisture force. Now, friends, this is our carnivore. Say it again. Carnivore. Eating on the other animal. We're going to go ahead and we're going to put him up. We're going to get out the next animal. Now, friends, you've been doing good. But tea break number 1. I think I got the virus last January. If you know anything about statistics, you can't have the virus if you don't take a test. But since then, the voice isn't as strong. Now, this next animal is one that is very special, but this next animal is actually very old. It's geriatric. This is kind of one of those that you have a teacher that retires and then comes back to substitute teach. We have to teach her nicely. You're laughing too much at that. I'm not looking at you. I offended a lady last week. Teachers, I love you. I do not know how you do your job and deal with it. But we have to keep our animals in happiness. With this one, I want you all to meet Shauna. Say hi, Shauna. Can anybody identify this North American mammal? What are we looking at? It's not a hamster, baby, but thank you. What do you think? Go. Nope, she does live in the ground, but she was already full grown here at 8.5. Very good. This is the black-tailed prairie dog. Now, when we look at this animal here, she has an amazing lesson for you to learn. This is one of the greatest ones I can teach with animals. Ears open. Keystone species. Say it, please.
Keystone species.
When you see an archway, that center stone at the top is called a keystone. It holds the whole thing together. And that's what we look at when we look at our little prairie dog here. Now, the first time I found a prairie, I was hiking through the desert badlands of North Dakota. For any of you waterfowlers here, I was actually a wildlife technician for Ducks Unlimited. We can talk about that later. And when we happened to find a prairie dog, I've been hiking for hours. I've seen 2 lizards and 1 snake. I crossed this drainage ditch, got up on the flat part of the ground, and as far as I could see, I thought I walked into a golf course. There were short, tender green grass and holes and rodents running around everywhere. It was full of life. And I hiked into a prairie dog town. Prairie dogs are found in that large group, and they live in this social situation. Now, these prairie dog towns is nothing but a network of tunnels, cavities, and caverns underneath the surface of the soil. Top of the ground, these animals actually manipulate the vegetation. Because when you're this big, there's a lot of things that are going to eat you. Now, when you look at Shauna, you see her eyes are exactly on the sides of her head. Now, that's telling you that her food does not run away from her. Do plants get up and run away from you? No. So they have a better term. What do we call the consumer that eats plant material meat? Very good, herbivore. Because remember, based as Arkansas, as far west as California, up into Canada, all the way down to Mexico. The problem is prairie dogs are now only found in 4% of their natural historic range. Because mankind thought they were bad. And we shot, trapped, and poisoned and removed these animals. Now, this girl here is very old. She's 8.5. Average life expectancy in captivity, 5 years old. So I have to give her massages to keep her calm and happy and relaxed. To get her nice and relaxed with her massage, then she can start her yoga. It's called upside down dog. You wish you were that flexible. These animals here are going to be found living in that prairie dog town. They keep that grass short and tender. All these animals will be feeding on the grass that the prairie dogs make. Abandoned prairie dog towns are key nesting sites for 2 endangered North American species, the black-footed ferret and gopher tortoise. These are endangered species because we only have 4% of the prairie dogs that we should. Now, these animals even help us out. In the desert, when it rains, it's going to rain a lot very quickly. Without the vegetation, we have the water runs and roads. But when we have a prairie dog town and it rains, the water isotopes. A prairie dog town in Montana will actually collect the well water for somebody to get their well water from the aquifer in Arizona. That's why we call these the keystone species. Now, you've certainly been looking at me going, Mr. Bob, that's a cute little mammal. How come we can't pet this one? It's because prairie dogs here in North America have been known to carry disease, the bubonic plague as well as monkeypox. My prairie dog's are disease-free because I'm the only person that gets a handle. It's not that I think you're carrying the bubonic plague or monkeypox, but let's be honest. You're in constant contact with the most disease dangerous in the state. Friends, to your left, to your right, you are all sitting next to the most diseased, germ-covered snot monster we have in the state. 9 of you have been picking your nose while I've been talking. 3 of them are in the older group up over here that we're not going to identify. That one ate it. So they're disgusting, seriously. Dude, don't pick your nose. We're all looking at you right now. Now, one prey dog is not going to live by themselves. They have to live. Now, what we have to think about with these animals, they help everybody out. Now, when you look at her, you got to understand, Shauna here is very old. You look at her left eye, you see how it's kind of cloudy? She actually has cataracts. She cannot see anymore. And that's where she uses other senses. See the whiskers? That sensation of touch. Most animals will use their sensation of touch a lot more than humans until we become visually impaired. You can have a domesticated cat living in your home that will be completely blind and you'll never know. Cats will walk around, memorize the furniture in your house using their whiskers, touching it the entire time. You don't know you have a blind cat until you move the furniture around. There's a Helen Keller joke in there if you can get it. Did you get it? You didn't get it, did you? Helen Keller was blind. Okay, if you move the furniture, she's going to fall down. I want to make sure. Now, prairie dog is an amazing keystone species for us. But she is our herbivore. Boys and girls, you're doing good. The next animal we're going to get out is a carnivore. And the next animal is actually very hangry today. So I need your rules to be followed. Bottoms on your seats, feet on the floor, or still. Say your question. You haven't answered one of mine, you can raise your hand. If I'm wearing a glove, that means I can get hurt. I do not want to get hurt. Up. Now, this is, I'd like you all to meet Q. Say hi, Q. Hi. Remember the lesson I want you to get today. The niche in animals' jaw. Does this bird here look like he's going to eat earthworms out of the ground like a robin? No. Do you think he's going to eat bird seed from a feeder? No. Do you think he wants to rip the flesh from your bones and swallow it? Yes. Like a kid on a donut. This animal here is a raptor. This is a bird of prey. This is the buto. This is not spelled butt. B-U-T-O, B-U-E-T-O. And look at the way he's built. 2 eyes on the front of their head, excellent depth perception. That right there is a flesh-carrying beak. It rips the flesh from the bones to be able to swallow. He has large, broad wings that he uses to chase down his prey. And that tail there is going to give him the direction to be able to pursue it. Toes are tipped with talons. I know, I think he has a mouse in his hair. I don't know why they grow their hair like this nowadays. I am a little jealous. He has good hair, but what's going on with these? Flip your head a little bit, make me feel better. Now, the buto here. Any of you that pipe or fish, this animal here is going to remind you of our native bird of prey, the red-tailed hawk. That's why I have it. This is the same genus, but a different species, serving the same niche on a different continent. Now, if you were here last year when we had our Eurasian eagle owl, Elle, she has actually been with me since she was just 14 days old. She was bred in captivity, hatched out, came to live with me. She is imprinted on me. This guy here came from a captive breeding program up from Oklahoma. He was raised by his biological parents for 18 months, and then he came to live with me. Now, this animal here is used as an educational ambassador. We also use this bird in my Air Force. This is my falconry bird. We can walk right outside of school and on a fence row, in a big cotton field or bean field. If we kick up a squirrel or a rabbit, I throw Q in the air, he'll fly after and try and attack it and kill it for me. Blood sport. Falconry is the second oldest blood sport on the planet. But for those of you that are interested in going into the natural resources field, I see a lot of you wearing sitting gear, we've got muddy gear. I don't know if you know what you're wearing, you're browning. But we got to understand, this job did not exist when I was raised. But listen, this is called abatement. Abatement is when you use a bird of prey to deter. What I can do here with Q, I have clients that we're going to do this. We can have an orchard, a vineyard, a landfill, a golf course, a factory. where they have noxious birds eating the farmer's crops off the vine. Birds on a golf course, pooping on the greens. Never understood golf. It's a horrible sport. Sporting place is right up there. I don't understand golf. You guys are nuts. But what you can do is you can have bad animals coming in and eating or defecating. You can spray chemicals. These will work. But if you have someone like me, bring a bird like this, we bring Q, I fly him around, we can chase away the prey animals. In January, I have to go to Jonesboro, Arkansas, because at the library I met the plant manager of the Frito-Lay plant. They have birds that will come in during their migration, and they eat things that will then be turned into your Frito chips. They can spray chemicals, but that would be bad. Instead, he needs me to bring Q and L, my Eurasian eagle owl. I will fly these raptors around, chasing away the prey animal just by the presence of the predator alone. For those of you looking for a career in natural resources, you can make very good money walking around with a raptor on your fist. That's something to think about. Now this bird here, similar to our red-tailed hawk. Look at his tail. You can see how it's red, but those horizontal bands on it identify him as the buto. He's not very fast. He's going to be just like a red-tail, sitting in a tree or a telephone pole, scanning around looking for food. He just told me you need more Jesus. Now, these guys can do, he can see something moving at over 100 yards. And if he can, he will fly down, grab a hold of it with his talons. This guy here will eat large insects. He will eat mice, bulls, rats. These guys will even eat small mammals, rabbit to hare size. And in England, these are called the buzzard hawk. Buzzard, for me, has a negative connotation. So I don't like that. That's why I wanted to teach the Latin. Buto, B-U-T-E-O. These guys have been known to eat carrion. It means dead things. And in England, again, for anybody going in the natural resource field, you got to understand our laws here are different. In Europe, when you own the land, you own the animals that are on it. Here, it's not. How many of you deer hunt? When you deer hunt, you are actually harvesting from your state of Mississippi. How many of you waterfowl hunt? Seriously? Why is there not more duck cutters here? It's my favorite sport. Money? You ain't got any? I don't either. What you gotta understand, the waterfowl is a migratory animal. So that is a federally protected and managed species. These guys here will eat anything. It doesn't matter what it is. Now this is a broadwing hawk, like a red-tail, not fast. Name me the fastest animal on the planet by raising your hand. Come on, you're wearing a $200 Sitka jacket. You don't even know what? Now, what are you talking about? Fastest animal. Okay, I'll back it up. Cheetah's only the fastest land mammal at 70 miles an hour. Top speed of a mallard is 53 miles per hour. Fastest waterfowl in North America. Who can give me that? God, no. Teal is not that fast. They're just small. But they're one of my favorite ones to hunt. Fastest waterfowl here in North America, common merganser. 67 miles an hour when they come flying by your knees. Fastest animal on the planet, though, is the peregrine falcon. Top speed is 230. That's how each one of our birds of prey have that specific niche or job. This is a wide, broad-winged hawk. Not going to be that fast. The peregrine falcon reaches that speed of over 200 miles an hour by flying thousands of feet in the air, folding her wings, going into a straight dive. But I will agree with you, teal are some of my favorites and some of the most complicated shots. Now, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, you're doing good. Unfortunately, with the next animal, I cannot use my microphone. Because I'm using my microphone, he will steal it, and he thinks he can sing. He cannot. So, bottoms down, say your question. If you haven't answered one of mine, you can raise your hand. This is a chance to see something very cool and really unusual. You ready to go to work? Oh. I'd like you all to meet Roy. Say hi, Roy. And what I want you to think, remember the lessons I've taught you. The animal's niche, its job. What does this guy remind you of? What does he look like? Raccoon. Very good. Very close. But is he a raccoon? No. Look at his tail. Ears open. This is the Coatimundi. That is spelled Coatimundi. We call them Coati for short. But like the raccoon, serving the same niche, but on a different continent. This guy here is a mammal. 4 characteristics that make mammals mammals. Name them for me. Give me one characteristic of a mammal. Birth live young. Okay. I really think you came out of an egg. Live birth. This guy here was born alive. When you were born alive, you'd be cuter to me than you are now. Babies don't talk back. Live birth. Mammals give birth to their live young. This guy here was born alive about 6 months ago in a captive-free program in Kansas. So live birth. Next characteristic of a mammal. Give me another characteristic. Very good. Warm-blooded. Take 2 fingers. Touch your skin. Are we warm or cold? Warm. Now, whenever we get hot, we sweat. Now, I know ladies don't sweat, but you glow, glisten, spritz, sparkle, shimmer, and shine. Some of you can do it all at the same time. That started during Dr. Seuss Week. I got one more in line. It's the greatest joke. I wouldn't even laugh at that one. This guy here is going to be more like a dog. Whenever he gets hot, he's going to pant, radiating his body. Next characteristic of a mammal. What am I losing on the top of my head? Hair. I'm married. I don't care. You need help. This guy here has a wonderful fur coat. Even though mammals may not always have fur, we have to have hair for at some point in life. Last characteristic of mammals. What do we feed babies? Before we ate baby food, what did you eat? Milk from your mama. This guy here was born alive, his eyes and ears were closed. He drank milk from his mom. And when his mom fed him that milk, he was starting to grow and mature. Now, at 5.5 weeks of age, he came to live with me. Now, as much as I tried, I could not lactate for this animal. So I had to feed him from a bottle. He's one of my bottle babies. He does not remember his biological mother. He thinks I'm his mom. Now, just like us, this is the same consumer as a raccoon. Raise your hand if you like to eat hamburgers and hot dogs. Good, hands down. Raise your hand if you should eat fruits and vegetables. Good, hands down. What do we call that consumer? Eating plant material and meat. What do we call it? Raise your hand. Come on, go. Very good, omnivores. Remember, vegetarians and vegans are confused people. This animal here is going to be just like an omnivore. Uses that long nose to smell of food. He has his excellent hand. Take note. See how he's sucking on my finger here? This guy thinks of me as his mom. I fed him from a bottle. He doesn't remember his biological mother. It's just like a pacifier or a bottle cap, if you've ever done that. This guy will still just suck on my finger. Now this is Coatimundi, an omnivore like us. Now raccoons will be sleeping during the day, but awake and active at nighttime. What do we call that? Nocturnal. This animal here is going to be different. This is active during daylight hours, most active at daylight and dusk. This animal is diurnal, a lot like our ducks. Problem is, they know the legal shooting times. I don't know how they do it. I think they send a teal by to freeze those. I could kill so many more wood ducks if time changes a little bit. Now this animal here, this long tail is not prehensile. He cannot grasp with it, but he uses it for balance. Coatis will live in a large group or troop. These guys roam around the rainforest, and they will eat just about anything that is edible. They will eat insects, small mammals, birds, and eggs. This guy here loves hard-boiled eggs and bananas and watermelon. That's his favorite thing. Now, when you look at him, does he look like he'd make a good pet for you? You're right. He's lying. This animal is not a good pet. How many of y'all remember Bradley the raccoon from last year? Okay, with Bradley and Roy, when we let them come upstairs to visit and the rest of the family in the common area, we have to make sure everything is locked up. This little stinker here can already open the baby-proof lock on the kitchen cabinets. My raccoon can swipe an iPhone already. My wife was doing chores one night. She didn't realize that the raccoon had pickpocketed her iPhone from her hoodie. The last picture on her iCloud was the picture of the camera looking up through the water at the raccoon because he had swiped it and taken a picture while he put it in his water bowl. A life-proof case is life-proof. Doesn't mean it's food-proof. These guys will get into just about anything. Now, this guy here is a very cool, important omnivore, but not something to think of as a pet. Now, friends, this guy here does not remember his biological mother. He thinks I'm his mom. Now, at this age in the rainforest of Central and South America, we're basically looking at a teenager. Annoying, opinionated, they think they know what they're doing, always whining and complaining, going, I'm starving, I'm bored, I'm hungry. Now, in the wild at this point with these teeth, mama will not feed her baby's milk. She'll dry up. She'll wean her baby. But what she will do is she will regurgitate food, meaning she vomits her mouth when the baby's eating. Now, as hot as you think I am, I've never done a program. Now, again, I have never gotten a cold, a germ, or a virus from one of my animals. When a yours touch me, I need a hazmat suit. You guys, a disease, germ-covered wildlife. Now, friends, you have done good. Look at this amazing animals. You've had omnivores, carnivores, herbivores. We've got a little bit of time. Raise your hand if you know what a question is. Good? Hands down. Raise your hand if you know what a story is. Good. If you have a question about me or one of my animals or my career, now is the time to ask. For you older students, this can help you out. Teachers, if you don't know me, this is now my 20th year of giving wildlife programs. I have numerous students that I've talked to from little bitty age that are now in college. Use me as a resource. I just got done sending an email. An old student of mine is at Arkansas, and he was trying to ask me if he should take dendrology or ichthyology. Those are two different classes. If you don't know what that is, you need to use this as that resource. If you have a question about marine animals, now is the time to ask. Go, honey.
That animal, it looks like an anteater.
It looks similar to an anteater, but he was way too active. He's way too intelligent. He's like a raccoon. Is it a question? Anything with a mouth can bite. I don't get bit often by them, but they can bite. Go ahead, honey. The Gila monster? Yes, ma'am. Where's your question? Think about it. Very good. Thank you. You're intelligent. You're much better than these boys over here with this horrible haircut. Constantly. Go, son. How fast and what? The bird go? That is a broad-winged hawk, so he's not going to be as fast as a peregrine falcon is 230. Broad-winged hawks are about 35 to 40. They hunt by sitting in a high elevated position like a tree or a power pole, flying down, grabbing a hold of it. They do not chase their prey. The sharp-shinned or Cooper's hawks. Again, it's another one. When was the last time anybody here shot a bobwhite on a covey rise? Sharp-shinned or Cooper's hawks are so fast and agile that they can grab a bobwhite on that covey rise. But they're more agile and hostile than a broad-winged hawk. Go, sir. I was a wildlife technician for Ducks Unlimited. I was a small mammal trapper and one of their waterfowl technicians. You're not going to make money, but it is awesome. Part of my job in that career is we would take 2 4-wheelers. We had a 300-foot log chain. We were in the northern prairie pothole region of North Dakota. We got lost and ended up in Canada. There's not even a barbed wire fence out there. But what we do is we would take 4-wheelers with this log chain and we'd drag it through the prairie. When a hen makes a nest, she will find a depression in there. The log chain will drag over the top, rolling over the grass. When it does that, that alerts her predator-prey response. She will fly off. So we would wait and watch for the hens to fly off. We'd holler, stop. We would then go find that nest, put a GPS marker on it, and then we would study its success rate. Meaning if it got predated or if it hatched out. Here's the thing. I'm a good conservationist. I love to eat them. I love to shoot them. I love to watch them. You have to be able to identify that hen as she flies away so we know what species we're looking at. You have to be able to identify if the nest is predated, how it was predated. You've got mammalian predators, skunks, badgers, coons. They'll eat that. Or you got reptile ones where they will eat all things. So that was part of what we did. The other part of what I did is I had the world's smallest Havahart trapper, about that big. And I would capture the rodents in the prairie. And I would ear tag them, and then I would study to see if I would capture them again. So what that would do is that would give me an idea of how many small mammals we had. And then we're looking at the correlation between if we have a lot of small mammals, do we lose more duck to nest predation by fox and coons, or are they eating mammal? And that's all the whole thing is trying to figure out that balance. It was amazing, y'all. Really think about it. Now, friends, unfortunately, as usual, I've talked too long. We don't have time to take your questions. You have your teachers. Teachers, you can go ahead and email them to me. We are updating the teacher resource page or website. And again, I do apologize. I am old and stupid and ignorant. I seriously drove up to North Delta and thought I was doing that school this afternoon, and I apologize. Luckily, they were nice. You guys are good. I'm proud of you. Give yourselves one big round of applause. Have a good, safe year. Learn well, and I'll see you all later. Thank you, my friends. Bye-bye. Older students, stay seated. Let the little ones go. Seriously, luckily you guys are close, but I pulled in, and I literally got there. Yeah, look into it. out the bank freedom when you know it.
The only reason I'm going is because I want to get the bank right in my home business.
Yeah.
And eventually, if I can find another